Welcome viewers. Who would be interested in Meghan Markle as a political candidate in the United States? Her public relations team is working overtime these days. Stay tuned, this video explains all. Please, if you are new to my channel, take a moment to press the subscription button below and the notification bell for the latest news. I came upon a fairly intriguing article, an outrageous story published by The Express, with the headline Meghan Markle billed as intriguing candidate as US political dream gets major revival. We can say a lot about Meghan's publicists, but we can't say they're not trying. Despite the fact that there are numerous reasons why they should abandon this crazy fantasy, it appears that they're holding on to it. I'm not sure if it's Meghan telling them to put this material out or if they actually think it's a good idea, but here we are again, so let's go through the story together. The opening line tells us that Meghan Markle's foray into US politics has received a huge revival. But I'm not sure what they're basing this on. I mean revival. Who on the planet is resurrecting this absurd notion? We learn that Meghan was tied to the Senate seat left vacant by the death of Dianne Feinstein, so they're attempting to persuade us that the seat could have been Meghan, but Gavin Newsom chose someone else on an interim basis. So perhaps it will still be made in the end, because the next piece informs us that Meghan is said to be exploring a move into US politics. We have been hearing of this rumor for a while now, but it comes from Meghan and her PR people, who also tell us that Meghan was getting advice from Gavin Newsom, who, last I checked, didn't want anything to do with her. He'd stopped answering her phone calls, so I'm not sure how he's still leading her. We keep in mind that Meghan came out in force in 2020 to encourage Americans to vote in the election for president. Yes, we know that happened, and even back then we discussed how wrong that was, given that Meghan holds a British title. Back then she and Harry had no business sticking their noses into politics, and we may say the same today. The following paragraph states that if the former actress decides to run for office in the United States, conservatives will put enormous pressure on her to give up her royal titles. I love how they're pretending as if all liberals and lefties will be huge lovers and supporters of Meghan Markle. I'm neither a left-winger or a liberal, but I think most Democrats would agree that Meghan Markle running for any post is a big mistake. The only reason I can think of for Democrats to choose Meghan to run for anything is that they don't want to win, and then we get to hear from Eric Schiffer, chair of Reputation Management Consultants, who told Newsweek that Americans aren't going to be biased by titles, but rather by confidence and likability. Considering whether she truly supports and will fight for the issues that matter, we are aware that Meghan has a long history of working for the environment, mental health, young people, and equality, and if these issues are on the ballot, she would be an intriguing contender. Okay, so I was forced to look up who this Eric Schiffer guy is. I wasn't surprised to find out that Eric Schiffer is obviously just one of the extremely wealthy Hollywood elite. He lives in Southern California and he's a billionaire, so basically he has no business advising us ordinary people who we ought to consider for being an interesting candidate. In fact, the fact that he considers Meghan to be an interesting candidate tells us that we should avoid voting for her at all, as we know whose pocket she is already in. So by backing Meghan, he's essentially telling us what we already knew: if Meghan Markle ever held a government seat, she wouldn't do anything to fight for us ordinary people, instead focusing all of her time and efforts on gaining tax relief for the exceedingly affluent. But, because The Express doesn't want us to think this is just a puff piece from Meghan's team, they included a few quotes from N. Gardner, the director of the Margaret Thatcher Center for Freedom at the conservative think tank Heritage Foundation, and of course, he's not a fan of Meghan entering US politics. So he told Newsweek that it's wrong for the Duchess of Sussex to be engaging in US political activity because she's a member of the royal family, she holds a royal title, she's not a working royal, but she has the title Duchess of Sussex, and in my opinion, if she starts campaigning politically, she should relinquish that title or it should be removed by the royal family. She ought not to be engaging in any political activity as a royal, and at this point, why are we even debating this? Gardner is entirely correct. Of course Meghan has no business dabbling in US politics, she has no business advising us who we should vote for, and she has no business running for office herself, of course not, because she's not qualified. The fact that Meghan has a British royal title is just one of many reasons why she should never consider entering US politics or uttering anything about politics at all. Another issue is that Meghan and Harry have repeatedly demonstrated that they do not share our values. Harry was the one who coined the phrase, First Amendment bonkers, and he and Meghan have been doing all they can to ban people on YouTube and other places. It's a slap in the face that he sent Meghan out there claiming to help other people pretending to help folks who actually needed it. People who are homeless or penniless only care about themselves and their affluent friends, and they only care about their wealthy friends because they believe their wealthy friends can help them. People Harry and Meghan have sought to make friends with in the United States are some of the most terrible people on the planet. Harry's engagement in the Aspen Institute tells us everything we need to know about the Aspen Institute being a threat to democracy. It is a genuine threat to free expression. Harry and Meghan and their billionaire pals can't stand the fact that we can say whatever we want about them, which is why they're trying to limit us, which is why they're doing everything that they can to censor us. The fact that Harry and Meghan will jump about bandwagon to bandwagon shows that they don't truly care about any of these issues. I mean, come on, Meghan spends ridiculous amounts of money on clothing for herself, she and Harry fly around in private jets, they drive around in nothing but gas-guzzling SUVs, they're not climate heroes in the least, in fact, they're a big part of the problem. I'm not sure if you recall, but do you remember who Harry did that Q&A with the trauma expert? Gabor's friend who stated Hamas is a hero. Well, talk about aging like milk. Oh my gosh. Meghan now believes that it is appropriate for her to become active in politics because Harry has been so intimately affiliated with someone like that. I mean, after everything that has happened in Israel in the weekend, I think you can both agree with me that the two of them have no business sharing their opinions on anything. I wonder what Harry and Meghan would say about Gabor mate, knowing those two, they'd probably flip-flop as usual because it's no longer fashionable to refer to them as heroes. But when I heard what he said, I asked myself, why on earth is Harry getting involved with a guy like that? No, that's not someone I'd ever agree to be up on stage with trauma expert my foot, so I think it's even more insulting that Harry and Meghan believe it's appropriate to put out all these PR fluff articles in light of everything that's going on in the world today. I mean, really? Why don't they just admit that they're irrelevant, that no one cares about them, and that the greatest thing they could do is focus on their personal life and truly develop something meaningful? Concentrate on genuinely assisting individuals. Meghan and Harry need to know that we, the people, are sick and tired of them standing in front of a captive audience, full of hot air, all self-important, and telling us how we should spend our lives. And you, what do you think about Harry and Meghan? Please let me know below in the comments section. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel to get more videos in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll be back to see you in the next videos.